Hey, how's it going? This is Scott from the White Boy Chinese podcast, where I teach you elementary Chinese like a normal person, not a robot. Hey everybody, how's it going? Scott here. Wanted to welcome you to my daily Learn Chinese podcast, where I teach you how to speak Mandarin Chinese and the method I use to learn it. As always, we encourage you to leave a 5-star review. If you leave a review, it will help push us to the top of the iTunes review charts. Speaking of which, we got a 5-star review from Jennifer that says, "Sweet!" I think the other reviews put it really well. Short and sweet, easy to understand, thanks. No, Jennifer, thank you. Alright, let's move along and get started. So, the theme for this week has been how to find stuff, more or less. We learned this whole zai nar thing, where anything that you put before zai nar indicates that you would like to know where it is. So if I say Peter, zai nar, you would be asking where is Peter, because whatever you put in front of this zai nar thing would indicate that you'd like to know where that person, place, or thing is. I was putting some thought into it, and I kind of believe I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't explain to you these two new words. So rather than learning person, place, or thing today, we're going to learn how to respond. Let's say if someone asks you where, what did we say yesterday? We talked about the bathroom and toilet paper. If someone asks you, where is the bathroom? 洗手间在哪儿? So we know that bathroom, 洗手间在哪儿 means where is the bathroom. But how would you respond? How would you respond to this inquiry, to this question? You can say 在这. This whole 在 meaning like here, and 这, which means kind of like this. So in this context, it would mean this place. So 在这means like over here. So if I ask you, 洗手纸 toilet paper 在哪儿? Where is the toilet paper? You can grab a big old roll of toilet paper, hold it up, and say 在这. It's kind of like over here. But there's also one other way. You can say, where is it? So rather than saying 在哪儿, you can also say 在哪里. This is kind of what makes Chinese so difficult, to me at least. There's like 500 ways to say everything. So typically in the north, they use this R sound, and like the sound I just made, 在哪儿, that R thing. In the south, they tend to drop that. So places like Shanghai, they would say 在哪里. And in the north, they would tend to say things like 在哪儿. So for instance, I learned how to speak Chinese in Shanghai and Taiwan. I personally prefer to say 在哪里. But it really doesn't make a difference. It has the same meaning. It's just that 在哪儿 tends to be a little bit easier to pronounce. For instance, if I say 洗手间在哪里, you can respond, pointing towards the bathroom, 在这, meaning it's over here, or 在这里. Both of these mean over here. So let's say if you want to know where Jacob is, you can say Jacob 在哪里. It's the same thing as 在哪儿. You can put the person, place, or thing right in front of 在哪里, and you'll indicate that you want to know where something is. And let's say I see Jacob and I'm pointing at him. I can say 在这里, which means he's over here. Or I can say 在这, which means he's over here. It all means the same stuff. Just keep in mind there's a lot of different ways to say the same thing. I guess today's tip is pretty redundant. Just remember that in Chinese, what makes things kind of confusing is that there's a lot of different ways to say the same word. Just as a quick example, if I want to say the word Monday, I can say 星期一 or 礼拜一 or 周一. So there's 3 different ways to say the word Monday. That's just kind of how it goes with Chinese. Don't get discouraged all because you bring up to a Chinese friend one way to say Monday or whatever word, and they're like, no, that's not what we say. We say something totally different. Well, that might be true to the area where they're from. It doesn't necessarily mean it's true all over China. I mean, think about where you're from. If you're from the United States, it doesn't mean you've lived all over the United States. The same thing applies to that Chinese person you're speaking to. They haven't necessarily been all over China. Alright, I'm going to stop preaching the ways of Chinese for today. And xie xie, see you next time. Still not enough for you? Why don't you head back to my website and I'll personally send you my Chinese Tones Decoded lesson, where I go over exactly how to say each Chinese tone in plain simple English. It's designed for normal people like you. What you do is you go to whiteboychinese.wordpress.com. That's whiteboychinese.wordpress.com. When you get there, you'll see a big blue box. Click on the box, and it'll redirect you to a link to sign up for my mailing list. Once you're on the list, I'll send you the lesson totally for free.